What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Venom is directed by Ruben Fleischer and stars Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, a freelance reporter who finds himself on the receiving end of a space alien, or symbiote, who takes up residence inside Eddie. Meanwhile, the Life Foundation and their CEO Carlton Drake, played by Riz Ahmed, the ones who retrieved the symbiotes from space in the first place, will stop at nothing to get Venom back. And hilarity ensues. So I have to admit, I'm a little confused as to how all this ties in, or if it ties in, to the MCU proper. As far as I understand it, Sony is attempting to create their own sort of parallel MCU based mostly around the Spider-Man characters, sans Spider-Man. That's the most confusing part. Spider-Man is already a part of the MCU, so how are they going to do an entire universe of characters that center around Spider-Man without Spider-Man? But I digress. Anyone who is a fan of Spider-Man is invariably a fan of Venom as well. I actually prefer Venom to Spider-Man, mostly because, with Eddie Brock to balance him out, Venom lives in the realm of the chaotic neutral. And as fans, we naturally want movies about our beloved characters to be good. Venom just misses the mark. Not everything about Venom is bad. Tom Hardy is fantastic, as always, and the design and CGI for Venom is freaking amazing. Tom Hardy also provides the voice for Venom, which is mildly terrifying, and the banter between the two characters is surprisingly hilarious. I have to assume that everything Venom knows about humans is learned on the fly from Eddie's brain, because while a number of his quips are funny, a few are surprisingly out of place. Funny, but not exactly expected from an alien life form. The action is good, but I'm not a fan of the cinematography. There's a lot of shaky cam and quick cuts, but there's also an inordinate amount of motion blur. Anything that isn't made near impossible to see with the former is eventually made so by the latter. Ultimately, I was more irritated by the big car chase in the middle than I was entertained. I think my biggest problem with this movie stems from the writing. Most of the dialogue is pretty generic, and there are some plot shifts and overarching plot points that I found questionable at best. For example, while you knew it had to happen, Venom does a quick shift from "we're here to destroy the human race" to "I'm here to protect the human race," with nothing in between. Also, this is the second movie in almost as many weeks where they've tried to sell me on the idea that the world will be completely uninhabitable within a single generation because of climate change. Do you realize how many generations have gone by now with these type of people screaming that the world will be completely uninhabitable within a single generation because of climate change? If you're going to take that argument seriously, then you have to be willing to accept the idea that the world became completely uninhabitable years ago. Let that sink in for a second. There are other things that bugged me, but I'm not going to sit here and nitpick all of them. The rest of the cast, while great actors in their own rights, were all pretty meh. I usually really like Michelle Williams, but her character here just feels like she's there to get us from point A to point B. I didn't really care about her or her relationship with Eddie. Again, that's the fault of the writers, not Michelle Williams. There's a sequel set up mid-credits that I won't spoil, but it was equal parts awesome and cringeworthy. I like where they're going with it, but once again, the writing got in the way, and oh my god, the wig. I'm just saying. In the end, I think Venom is worth the price of admission, but only just, and only once. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. You'll never hear me say it's a great movie, but I did enjoy the ride. I'll most certainly watch it again, just not in the theater, and it left me excited to see what's next. That's it for now. Have you seen Venom? Are you excited to see what Sony is going to do with its parallel MCU? Let's talk about it in the comments, and as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week with another review.